The Volante's engines roared as the ship descended towards Cathua, one of 3 inhabited planets on the Oxt system. In the flight deck, Hal's space jock was paying as much attention to the coffee mug balanced amongst the instruments as he was to the approach. He could survive without watching the landing, but he only had 1 mug. The screen changed suddenly, and in between the sponsor logos and pop-ups, Hal could just make out the mottled blue surface of Cathua. As they got closer, the oceans and continents gave way to a patchwork of contrasting squares, but the pop-ups and banner ads didn't give way to anything. They just multiplied. "You can tell it's a garden planet," said an even male voice. "They grow produce in those fields." Hal glanced at the battered bronze robot sitting to his right. Clunk, the co-pilot. Useless data on demand. "Facts are important, Mr. Space Jock. Without them, we could land in the ocean." "Again," said Hal. He gathered his mug and made his way to the rear of the flight deck, where a coffee maker sat in pride of place. It was a huge, chrome-plated model bristling with spouts, and the control panel was more complicated than the one Clunk was using to fly the ship. "You keep your eyes on the ocean," said Hal, as the robot turned to watch. "You're supposed to be navigating." "I don't want to miss the fun." Hal patted the machine. "You're just miffed because I installed it myself." "Not miffed, worried." Hal requested a white coffee. The machine gurgled and spluttered, then filled the mug with orange goo. "Order orange mucus, and it might give you coffee," said Clunk helpfully. Hal emptied his mug and tried again. This time, he got yellow foam with blue sprinklies. Clunk tried not to smile. "Would you like me to calibrate it?" "Shut up and land the ship." Hal tried a third time and got something that looked just like coffee. Unfortunately, it tasted like rocket fuel. There was a snort from the console, but by the time Hal had finished gagging, Clunk was feigning interest in the view screen. There was a grey spot on the map now, a patch which grew into a linked cluster of landing pads and buildings. A flashing green cross tracked one of the pads, which was marked with 3 pulsing circles and a floating sign which said, "Land here." "That's ours," said Clunk, pointing it out in case Hal had missed the subtle clues. "The cargo should be waiting for us." "It's fresh food, right?" "Correct, Mr. Space Jock." "I told you that stasis controller was a good idea. It'll make us a fortune." Clunk pressed his lips together. "Freezing time is a complex process, Mr. Space Jock. If anything goes wrong, Jimmy Bent gave me a 3-month guarantee. Everything's covered." "That's Bent Jimmy, and the only guarantee where he's concerned is that the goods are stolen." "Get away. Next you'll be saying he gave me change in forged credits." "You took change from Bent Jimmy." "He said he couldn't break 1,000. Clunk sighed. "Hey, no sweat. I'll pass the dodgy credits on to someone else." "What about the dodgy stasis controller?" "If it fails, we lose someone's lunch order. Big deal." "It is a big deal. This cargo is worth 500,000 credits." Hal almost dropped his mug. "How come?" "Beef from hand-reared cattle. Organic vegetables from genetically purified seed. It's very, very expensive. Worse, they're paying us a pittance to carry it." 6,000 credits isn't bad." "After fuel and costs, we'll make about 500. "Don't fret. Once word gets around, we'll be fighting off customers." "Given our record, I think you mean fighting with customers." "All right, Mr. Negative. You fly the ship and I'll book the jobs." "I'd be only too happy with that." Clunk turned to the screen where the landing pad was growing rapidly. "Speaking of flying, we're about to set down. You'd better drink up." Hal made a few slurping noises, pretending to drink his coffee. Then he dumped the mug and plonked himself down in the pilot's chair. "All right, hit it."